Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I have a book review for you today which is long overdue. The book that I'm reviewing is called The One by John Marrs. I first started reading this book last year before it was released. I was reading it while at an internship and I just didn't get around to finishing it before I left, unfortunately. But when I finally got the actual copy on its release date earlier this year, I ate it up. I absolutely devoured it. It's such an incredible story. The premise of The One follows basically you can find your soulmate spending £10 and sending off a little bit of your DNA, and when they get back to you, you either have a soulmate or they've not been entered into the system yet. So you basically just sit around waiting to find out if you have a soulmate. Immediately, I love this book. The book has 5 to 6 different perspectives. I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but there are some really quite sad stories for people looking for their soulmates, people that have either been so unlucky in love or have had what they have thought of as their perfect relationships ruined by this idea that their partner can go out and find someone that is actually better suited to them. So throughout the novel you hear these different stories about people's marriages have broken up, or people have found the person that they were meant to be in love with and it just hasn't been what they expected it to be. They just either ignore it or they accept it, and it's kind of sad. I'm trying to talk about it and not give too much away, but there are some really, really different characters. It follows so many different personality types. The chapters are short, they're snappy, they're quick, so every time that you read a little bit, every single one ends on a cliffhanger. So you're in this cycle of cliffhanger with one character, I can't wait to find out what happens next, to a cliffhanger of another character, and then you can't wait what happens next. And it just constantly keeps you gripped. I was very impressed with the way that the book kept my attention. My favourite perspective comes from this corporate female character. I don't want to say any names of characters, but the corporate female character, and she's always got her head in her business. She lives for work basically, and she meets someone that's her complete opposite. So she's had her DNA in the system for multiple years, but nothing has ever come through until suddenly it does, and she's faced with this kind of, do I ignore it? You know, I'm in such a good place in my career right now. Do I want to find out more about this person that's supposed to be my soulmate? When you get the match, you can also decide whether or not you want to learn out more about them, get their name. I don't think I would want to do it. One of the perspectives does follow a couple who decided to put their DNA into the system, even though they'd been together and they were thinking about getting married, and they do it, and then when it doesn't come back the way that they expect it to, well, I'll let you use your imagination about what happens, but it's definitely worth picking up. I really, really enjoyed reading this book. It's been one of the best thriller novels that I've read this year, and it's just because it's so punchy. Every story that this book follows has a really surprising ending, but then you're reading it and you're like, well, is it going to go this way? How could it possibly go a different way? I cannot express the excitement that I had while reading this. I read it literally the day that I went to hand in my dissertation at university, handed in all my final assessments. I sat down and I just read this book front to back, and it was absolutely incredible. I did not want to put it down. I was so hungry because I didn't even want to put it down to put a pack of noodles in a pan. I was so happy to finally be reading this book. It has so many different aspects to relationships. You learn so much about people and the way that they think about relationships and how their ideas are kind of unsettled or proven wrong, and then there are so many twists and turns that make you question yourself. I was reading this book and I was questioning the kind of person that I expected to be with, because I think with the society that we have in reality, or whatever version of reality we live in, we tend to meet people by circumstance. So whether even if you meet someone online, you're meeting them through that circumstance. Whether you meet someone at work or through school, through friendship groups, it's all organised in a very particular set of circumstances. But this book gives us a perspective from a reality where we find our soulmates that have nothing to do with our general way of living. They could be halfway across a world, they could be in a completely different time zone to you, and you've got to manage a relationship with someone that you would never, ever have anything to do with in any other way. And I just think it gives you this incredibly strange, insightful perspective on what relationships actually are and how you make them work or how you don't make them work. Maybe you're in a relationship with someone and it's so easy, you don't have to put any effort in. There are so many characters in this book that are trying to make something work that really, in our reality, it would never work. It questions everything that we think about relationships and love and chemistry with someone else. John Marrs has created a system where they do the work for you. If it is soulmates and it is love, you want to know why it works and how it works and if it can work. But also there's this element of, well, if this is love, do we want it? If this is the person that I am supposed to spend the rest of my life with, who I match with on such a biological level that there really is no comparison to anyone else, is it something that I actually want to be a part of? There's a lot of questions in this book. The way that everything falls into place right up to the last few chapters, they just completely threw everything that you were expecting out. The ending really unsettled me, and that feels really good. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I upload a video at least once a week. Let me know in the comments as well if you have read this book and what you thought of it. Do you agree with me? Do you think it was a good book? If not, tell me why. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!